Hiya. Hello, my loves. All love beings, all beings of love, all beings in general, right? There was some beautiful light coming in a few minutes ago. I decided to put myself here atop the altar. This is the back side of Ganesh, if you will, and we got Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge and poetry, scripture, music, the goddess of music behind me, sending us some good vibes. There's a Shiva up here, symbol of transformation. So anyway, here we are again. I hope you are well. I hope you are doing the best that you can be doing right now, given your current circumstance, whatever life hands you, whatever life offers you today. It's kind of nice to present and hold space for each other fairly early in the day, it being just mid for us at noon on the East Coast, and all our friends on the West Coast obviously still morning. And it's a nice way to begin the day, checking in with oneself. What is the day handing you? What is the day offering you, right? Because any difficulty, problem, anything that we might be struggling with is also a gift. It's just a little disguised, right? Because so much wake state, so much woke state, so much awareness can come through the very difficulty. It's one of the things that, like, you think about a bicycle and pedaling, like there's a certain amount of resistance and difficulty needed in order to get the stride, right? And something that you need to apply, the way you place your heel in the holster thingy of the pedal, and that consistent stride, especially if you're going uphill, that application that comes through with more intention, more purpose, more directedness when it's difficult, right? So what is the day handing you today? Right? And of course, it's not just one thing, right? What does the day bring? What are the offerings today? How do they show up? And more importantly, once they show up, what's our relationship to them? What's our relationship to the stuff that is sweet, like the sun? And we're having a very warm day. It's, I don't know, close to 60 here today. You know, those things might be a little bit more easy to have relationship to, but then we also want to, like, check out what else is coming to us today. You know, what is the ticker tape message sending us today? And what's our availability to it in such a way that we can actually have a relationship to it? Because, you know, if this crisis, this pandemic, has taught us many things, but hopefully it has taught us all that we're a heck of a lot more resilient than we thought we were, and we're all learning how to bike pedal, right? We're all learning how to work with the tension and keep things moving. It's a different movement, right? You know, especially now, we've been called to be, you know, extra careful. Thank you for the heart. Especially now, we're being called again, right? We're being called backwards, right? To pay more attention, right? Vigilance has to go up, right? The bit of kind of carefree and respite break that we had over the summer of, you know, laying on the grass with others and that kind of thing no longer is, right? Our numbers are up, and we must be mindful once again. Not that we ever shouldn't have been, but, you know, it was nice to, like, have a bit of a break from it. So that's part of what's being handed to us today. I know, and how do you have relationship to what's being presented to you, so that it's not always this like one-sided or myopic relationship to only the good, where we're only joyful when we're on vacation. I mean, how many times people have said to me, and I'm sure you've said it yourself, and I've even said it, like, oh, I just need to get out of here, right? I just need a break. I just need to like feel the sun or see something different, go surfing, whatever, like recharge, replenish. And yes, that is important, but I often follow it up, and I do so with myself as well. Like, why is it that you need a break, and what can you find here to help you replenish, right? Because the bottom line is, this is it, guys. This is our existence, right? It might not be the plan. It might not be what you worked for and set yourself up for, right? It might not be what you envisioned, but the bottom line is, this is it, right? And for some of it, it's like, being handed a rickety old bike that needs to be, the chain needs to be oiled, right? And it's like, but even in that, it's like, oh, okay, I'm working with this, right? I'm moving through the resistance. I'm getting somewhere. Might not be as far as I'd want to go, but at least I'm working the process. It's so important that we stay participating in our existence. And it kind of masks itself sometimes because it's like, oh, this is difficult. Oh, I don't want to be experiencing this. So we want to kind of turn the blind eye and, go put the television on or do the puzzle to distract us or whatever it is that we do when we're faced with adversity. But rather, we're all just, trying to learn how to have relationship to reality. And the blessing that one of the silver linings in this experience is the pandemic is still around, which effing sucks. But it continues day in and day out for us to like put the heel in the strap, the pedal, if you will, and okay, move with this today. Move with this today. There's still some tension, there's still some resistance, there's still some ricketiness, there's still some great insecurity. But because it's been with us so long, we're being gifted opportunity to work with it rather than our normal go-to, which might be like, I just can't deal with it anymore. Turn. Take the vacation, go hide under the covers. Not that those things are bad, right? It's part of what we do, right? But now some of the go-tos aren't there, and or the go-tos are getting really stale. Like what we used to rely on, either we're doing it so much that it isn't serving us anymore, or we can no longer do it. So we need new go-tos, and the new go-to is how to have relationship to the moment, which is hard. It's really hard. But, speaking from a place of attempting to do so day in and day out, what is this day bringing me? How do I have relationship to it? How do I work with it? For, many years now, I can say that the grace that comes through that experience is far greater than the difficulty of actually doing it. We set it up in the mind that it's going to be tough because we don't like it, right? We don't want to have to accept it. But it is our reality, right? So where are we going to go and what are we going to do? We're going to just try and be with it, right? I know, speaking very personally, yesterday was a terribly anxious day for me. My anxiety was high because I found out that there were 4 people that had been tested positive for COVID, that had COVID, and 3 others that were going to be, 3 others that were going to be tested yesterday. So 7 people it had touched in what I would consider to be a bit of my inner circle, if you will. So that was kind of devastating and a wallop. I must say I handled it well when I got the news from each and every one of us, each and every one that gave it to me, and I was able to make space and provide a sense of support. But afterwards, it really, the numbers really started to freak me out, in addition to the fact that we just went to Code Orange, I think it is, which is, we have to go backwards now. So for us here where I'm living, it's back to like essentials only. And it's difficult to go backwards, right? And just like that image and that kind of metaphor of the bike, nobody wants to backpedal, right? Nobody wants that. But we have a choice on how we see it. Like, we can look at it as this, first of all, the anxiety is probably going to come up when we get hit with any kind of news that is overwhelming. It's very natural for each and any one of us to have anxiety. Because anxiety is like a state of panic based on the perception that we don't have any control over the situation. And we have to just, if that occurs for you, we have to just let that be the case. We have to allow ourselves to panic, because the more we try not to panic, the higher the panic state goes. So we have to realize that it's going to pass, which is also challenging when you're in it. It's hard to unblend from that experience, but we just want to just like let ourselves be in the panic state for a bit, which I did the best I could with yesterday. And then, eventually it subsides, and then you start to do that work of like, this is my reality, right? Excuse me, this is my reality, and how do I have a relationship to what's been handed to me today? I was going to say something else, but I lost my train. Train left the station. Woo woo! I do feel a little crazy these days, my goodness. It's a lot to handle, right? But all the more reason to, kind of laugh and lighten. Yesterday's post was face adversity, and one of my students wrote it. When I first saw it, I thought it said face the absurdity, and it's like, yeah, same thing, right? This is so absurd. I did want to say something else, and I can't find it right now. Oh, the backpedaling. None of us want to backpedal, right? So what do you do with that? It's challenging to acknowledge that the backpedal is happening to the country, right, through this pandemic. There's nothing we can do about it. So we pick up our feet, we allow ourselves to roll back down the hill a little bit, and we go wee as best we can. We accept it, and then in another time, we're going to put the feet in the straps, in the pedally things. What are they called? Stirrup things. And we're going to start riding forward again, right? So part of the relationship to the reality, and in this case, accepting backpedaling, if that happens to be the issue for you right now, we just let ourselves for a little while, and then we're going to move forward again, right? Nothing lasts forever, right? So it's how we have a relationship to what's happening, rather than, I don't want this to be happening, in full-on resistance. Because then we're cutting off our supply, we're cutting off our circulation, we're cutting off anything that we can have together, right? We gotta stay connected, right? So that might sound like a lot right now, but so be it. It is a lot right now, right? Let's bring the hands to the heart. Let's take about 3 cleansing breaths together. Big inhale through the nose. Let it out the mouth. Actually, touch your heart with your hands if you choose to, again. One more. Give yourself a chance to sit into your reality by simply finding what is underneath you and where you are right now. What's the day? What's the time? What's the temperature? Where are you placed on this planet? With the hands pressing together at the center of the heart, allowing the hands to be an expression of commitment to staying on the path, commitment to staying together, commitment to accepting our reality as best we can. May we not do it alone. May we not feel alone through this crazy time. And let us also just take a moment here to give thanks for all the growth that has come through this time. We're all learning how to ride our bikes again, right? Anew, through the tension, through the difficulty. We are gaining internal strength like crazy. Let's offer that out. Breathe in. Let's rest our left hand upon our chest and our right hand to the underbelly, if we choose to, right? If we choose to. Let's begin to become aware of the breath that lives inside us. Softening through the internal body. Waking ourselves to our internal world. What has been brought to your attention today, right now? What has been placed on your lap in the present? And let's just simply notice that we have breath and we are breathing. Let's try not to judge it. Let's just simply notice it. And let's begin to bring the breath into the awareness of what sits on our lap right now. What life presented itself with today. Let's begin to join the breath to our reality. Let's begin to join the breath to our reality. And this is the practice of yoga, the joining. So we're not running out of our skin, away, panicking. We're sitting right in it. And we allow those gifts to show their face in all different shapes and sizes, all different categories and strains. And we are discovering our current ability to embrace them for what they are. No more or no less. This is a difficult time. Watch yourself having a relationship with it. Go a little deeper into the breathing body without force or urgency. Observing the inhale, lightly touching upon the left hand where your chest is. And the right palm on the exhale where your underbelly is. Feel the breath moving there. So we're going to try to stay with ourselves long enough. We're going to try to soften in such a way that we can have a relationship to the current where we're not running from it. We are embracing it And it is from the current of the breath, the flow of the breath, that we are able to sit in the current of our existence. Continuing to observe the inhale as it touches upon the chest, and the exhale in the underbelly. And just simply notice that you're doing it, right? To some degree, right? The breath is there, you are here. This is the practice. We'll go a little further, beginning to move in the back of the high lungs as we slow the breath down, emptying through the underbelly. Inhale. Gently retain in. Exhale. Gently retain. Inhale. Retain. Exhale. Retain. And breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. And breathe in. Retain. And breathe out. And retain. Release the hold at the underbelly, letting the breath go, letting the breath flow. Feel free to move the body, move the head. I'm going to take 3 cleansing breaths again. Inhale through the nose, out the mouth. Again. One more. Let's sit together for a few more moments in observance of the breath, in observance of what has been handed to us today, and notice our current ability to breathe with the current situation. Maybe the panic is down, maybe the resistance is down, maybe the acceptance is up. Maybe we are learning how to have relationship to our reality. And maybe this relationship to reality is coming through more deeply, more greatly, because we practice it every single day now. Because each day is a new journey. And none of them lately have been easy. Maybe we can actually give thanks for that. Find your breath for a few more moments. Folding the hands together at the center of the heart, this beautiful gesture of gratitude. The time to sit, the time to breathe, the time to feel connected, rooted into our reality rather than running from it. let's breathe in. Namaste. Thank you for sitting with me in lifetime. Thank you for sitting with me in, what's it called? On lifetime? On your own time? If you know anybody that might serve from this time together, right? It's together in a new way, right? Going backwards, right? How we first began. Or let me just say going back to when we first began. The phrase mid-March when I started these, when these originated, was, alone together, right? So let's remember that, right? Alone together. So if you know anybody that might want to be alone together with us, please feel free to share this with them. If they're not connected through social media, they can find me on YouTube. These sessions are recorded and you can watch them later on YouTube. Shakti Mom Michelle at Shakti Yoga. Go figure. I'll see you again Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the same time, or in your own time. Let's seal it and send it out, really offering this like a blanket over the universe, not just the US, but the entire globe. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with an easy heart. Namaste.